everypony, and welcome back to My Little Pony What Works. Well, after my success with my Season 1 favorites, it's time to look at my favorite episodes from Season 2. And to be honest, this is going to be a lot tougher than expected because there were a lot of episodes that I loved. Even the ones I had issue with were just petty minor complaints. Well, except for 2, but those had more complaints than usual. But yeah, it's hard to complain about Season 2 because Season 2 was the best season. And here are 10 reasons why. This is my top 10 favorite episodes of My Little Pony Season 2. Number 10. It's About Time. I know, I put this episode on my top 10 worst episodes list, but you know what? That was foolish of me because this episode is good despite its one flaw. So Twilight is being her usual self, trying to plan out for the week, when all of a sudden Twilight from the future appears, looking like Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. Future Twilight tries to warn present Twilight of something important, but present Twilight won't let future Twilight get in a word in edgewise. I know, God, my head hurts. 1 second. Okay, I think I'm sane now. So let's get into my highlight of the episode, which was the appreciation of Twilight's descent into madness. Twilight, as I stated in my top 10 worst episodes video, was intelligent, organized, and kind of obsessive compulsive. And when her OCD gets the better of her, lack of common sense kicks in. This is a very relatable situation. One overly important task that you worry about too much could see some people getting hit with the idiot stick, but not because of lazy writing or out-of-character behavior. This is why I say this episode's morals should be taught to all students that are either college-bound or already in college. In addition, we have a great Goldilocks and the Three Bears comparison with Twilight, Spike, and Pinkie Pie looking to the future, Cerberus attacking Ponyville, and a much better explanation of the Pinkie sense. My only gripe is now that time travel's canon, the way for a Doctor Who's adventure is less likely to come. It's about time. It looks like the future is really bright. Number 9. May the best pet win. This episode is probably on par with Fall Weather Friends in terms of enjoyment levels. Rainbow Dash decides she wants a pet. So she holds a competition between Fluttershy's animals to determine who is up to her levels of coolness, awesomeness, and radicalness as the pet of her choice. Now, my first reaction to the synopsis was, she's gonna get a tortoise, isn't she? And lo and behold, Tank becomes her new pet. But I would say this type of predictableness is actually quite pleasant. Sometimes you're along for the ride to see how characters get from point A to point B. In this case, it's more of the shenanigans that happen between the 2 points that make the journey enjoyable. Another thing that made the episode worthwhile is the Find a Pet song. While some people find it just a conversation with song, that's why I enjoy it. The conversation between Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash with musical accompaniment is a beautiful way to get the plot underway. And it's also because I like this type of musical number. Finally, this is the best Rainbow Dash episode in talking about her element of loyalty. While Rainbow Dash was looking for something to her standards, she ultimately went with a pet that fit her element of loyalty the best. This is because Tank was the only one who finished the race with Rainbow Dash. It may seem unfair to the Falcon, but hey, rules are rules. May the best pet win. The last time I ever called Rainbow Dash best pony. Number 8. Read It and Weep. While I may have said the previous number was Rainbow Dash's best episode, Read It and Weep is my favorite Rainbow Dash episode. After injuring her wing in a flying accident, Rainbow Dash is now stuck in the hospital with nothing to do. That is until Twilight offers her a book to read entitled Daring Do and the Sapphire Statue. At first she's turned off by the aspect of reading because reading is for eggheads, but after reading a couple of chapters, she's hooked on phonics. I mean literature. Stupid 90s references. Here's the dilemma. She told Twilight and her friends that reading is for nerds, and now she loves it. Seem familiar to any bronies out there? After a second watch, this turned out to be a really good parallel to the brony community, even if it wasn't probably intended. In a sense, Rainbow Dash felt the most relatable to me as a fan of something that wasn't from my intended age or gender demographic. I guess don't knock it until you try it really comes to heart here. But I think everyone was immediately hooked to the character of Daring Do. The adventure book was eye-catching and investing to me as a fan of Indiana Jones and the Uncharted series. And I think I know what everyone was thinking after this episode aired. Please tell me someone's writing the next book on FiM right now! Read It and Weep. Okay, one more time. Number 7. Secret of My Excess. Easily my favorite Spike-centered episode. Today is Spike's birthday, and he's usually not used to getting so many gifts on this day. Soon he gets presents from everyone, even if they weren't willing. The next day, Spike's greed apparently hasn't grown exponentially the more he wants stuff. This episode probably delves into Spike's character the best, without it feeling contrived. I'll probably talk about that another time. But for Secret of My Excess, the idea of Spike having an inner struggle with his true dragon nature was some of the most fun I had to experience. In addition, the episode pretty much confirmed Spike X Rarity as being OTP. The generosity of Spike giving the Fire Ruby to Rarity inspired her to be even more generous with the designs of the capes for everyone. I especially love Rainbow Dash's Girl and Gone inspired one. Plus, the Fire Ruby itself gave great look into the relationship of Spike and Rarity in the comics. Secret of My Excess. Spike X Rarity is canon. Number 6. Hurricane Fluttershy. This is probably the hardest episode to describe because the episode in question is near perfect. The Pegasi of Ponyville are assigned with a task to collect water for Cloudsdale. While the attempted speed to collect the water is 800 wing speed, Rainbow Dash wants to surpass a 910 speed record and aim for 1000 wing speed. However, Fluttershy has confidence issues because of being a misfit amongst the Pegasi, as shown here and in the Cutie Chronicles. I think this episode is the perfect example of how to respect continuity within your series. A lot of the continuity callbacks stem from Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash's relationship. The two Pegasi have grown up together as well as have similar confidence issues. Rainbow Dash experienced the first bit of stage fright in Sonic Rainboom, and now seeing Fluttershy experiencing the same lack of confidence, Rainbow comforts her saying it doesn't matter if she doesn't perform well as the other Pegasi. All that matters is she gives it her all. Damn it, now I'm getting sappy for Flutter Dash. In addition, we get two of my favorite fan shoutouts. One is where Fluttershy is in an actual tree costume, a more obvious shoutout to the popular meme. The other is more subtle, as Twilight is saying she doesn't talk squirrel. However, her voice actress, Tara Strong's other popular character, Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls, can. Very subtle, Cindy Morrow. I'll give you props on that one. Hurricane Fluttershy, a perfect example of how to respect continuity. Number 5. Sweet and Elite. This is the episode that made Rarity Best Pony, for a short while. While staying in Canterlot for a week for design ideas, Rarity starts spending time with the Canterlot High Life. This includes #1 fashion designer Fancy Pants, aka the most important pony to know amongst the elite. However, the High Life is distracting her from creating a dress for Twilight's birthday, so she has to decide what comes first, her status or her friends. Let's get something simple out of the way first. Becoming popular? Love it, but not as much as the dress. Also, the comedy in this episode is top-notch. Thank you, Megan McCarthy. I should also mention Sweet and Elite is actually a really good world-building episode by giving Canterlot a little more character outside of Celestia and Luna live and rule here. It shows that the city and its citizens are very regal and superior compared to Ponyville, whose citizens are more grounded and common. But I feel what makes this not only my favorite Rarity episode as well as Rarity's best episode, comes down to her element of harmony being put to the test, as well as learning the lesson. Unlike a dog and pony show or Suited for Success, Sweet and Elite perfectly puts Rarity's element of generosity in action while still having her learn the lesson. Sweet and Elite, making Rarity best pony, but just briefly. Number 4, Ponyville Confidential. If I had to pick an episode that shows My Little Pony can be mature and adult, I'd pick this episode in a heartbeat. On a safer quest to get their cutie marks, the Cutie Mark Crusaders decide to join their school paper. However, Diamond Tiara is their editor-in-chief. She wants the paper to become more tabloid and less informative. Thus, the Cutie Mark Crusaders become gossip columnists, expanding their stories to reach Canterlot. However, they may have dug a hole too deep as their gossip starts to hurt everyone's feelings and reputations. So much that Big Macintosh actually speaks a coherent sentence. I know, I was shocked too. However, Big Mac and Applejack switching lines wasn't the only thing that shocked me in a good way. What shocked me the most was how mature and adult the moral was handled. As I said in my One Bad Apple review, I was afraid that taking on a risky subject to target children was going to backfire, especially since I was a victim of gossip when I was the Cutie Mark Crusaders age. And even though the setup was a bit wonky, I mean the girls could have just told Cheerily they were being blackmailed, I was impressed they took responsibility for their actions, as a professional journalist would. So if there are any non-believers out there that Friendship is Magic can't be profound, I point you to Ponyville Confidential to prove you wrong. Number 3, A Canterlot Wedding. While several people find the story flawed, I can't help but appreciate how epic this episode turned out. Twilight's brother, Shining Armor, is getting married to Twilight's old pole sitter, Princess Cadence. However, there appears to be something dark and deceptive about the Cadence the audience is seeing. So when Twilight gets sent to hell, she and the authentic Cadence must stop the deceptive Cadence from doing something terrible to Twilight's brother. Well, on a second watch, I could see a lot more flaws with the story, thank you Anthony C. But I'm willing to overlook most of those flaws because I immersed myself in the situation at hand. Structure-wise, it's the best of the two-part episodes to date. There was actual build-up to the reveal of Queen Chrysalis, unlike another villain. The songs and score are beautifully orchestrated, and oh yeah, party canon rules. A Canterlot Wedding, a step-by-step guide to how to end your season. Number 2, A Friend Indeed. 2 words, best episode. Pinkie Pie is friends with every pony in Ponyville and just wants to see them smile. That is until she meets Cranky Doodle Donkey, who doesn't want to make friends with any pony. He just wants to be left alone. So it's her task to get the donkey to accept her friendship. Everything in this episode was phenomenal. The animation was fluent, the comedy's always Pinkie's strong suit, and the Smile song is the best song of the entire run. There are continuity nods to previous episodes, including Rainbow Dash reading a Daring Do book. And then there's the moral of the story. While some friends may enjoy playing and laughing together, some may just like to be left alone, which is fine too. Whatever the case, one of the best things about friendship is being able to make one's friends smile. That is what My Little Pony is all about. Making friends and making one's friends smile. In the pilot episode, it was hinted very early that Twilight had no interest in making friends, especially since there was a possible threat to Equestria. Now she's made friends with most ponies in Ponyville. A friend indeed develops on Twilight's friendship making through the eyes of Pinkie Pie. This was the episode that made Pinkie Pie best pony. The fact that she can make almost anyone smile, even the biggest of stubborn donkeys, makes A Friend Indeed best episode. Okay, you probably all know what's coming. I said it was my favorite episode before Magic Duel dethroned it, so here we go. My favorite episode of Season 2 is Lesson 0, also known as the majority's favorite episode. It's been a week since Twilight sent a friendship report and she completely forgot. Fearing Celestia would punish Twilight for being tardy, she struggles to find someone with a friendship problem, not realizing she's the one that needs help. Where in all of Tartarus do I begin with this episode? Well, how about each pony getting a moment of awesome, while Twilight still being the focus of the story? Let's see, we have Rarity acting over dramatically, Rainbow Dash creating nuclear warfare, Applejack being her humble self, Pinkie Pie being Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy killing a bear. Yeah, nothing special. Speaking of killing, Twilight is completely out of her mind in this episode. I especially love the subtle foreshadowing at Sugar Cube Corner with that creepy smile. Then at the beginning of the third act, everything you cherished and loved about Twilight went out the window with this scene. Now imagine you're watching this episode in 1080p in full screen, and this was the face you saw. Yeah, your pants might feel a little bit heavier. It's a sense of risk-taking that I loved in Megan McCarthy's old writing. I should also mention this episode made Mrs. McCarthy my favorite writer of the series. Finally, the moral actually makes an improvement on the series, at least in terms of the letter system. Instead of just Twilight reporting on friendship lessons, Celestia now tasks the rest of the ponies to report on her lessons of friendship, when and only when they learn it. Looks like some pony caught on that the old letter system was broken, case in point bridal gossip. Now if any pony learns a lesson of friendship, they're allowed to report it. Lesson 0, my favorite episode of Season 2. Now you may have noticed some of the episodes I listed had blue lettering. Well, if you didn't guess, those are my all-time favorite episodes, and here they are in ascending order. Number 11, Dragonshy. Number 10, Winter Wrap-Up. Number 9, Magical Mystery Cure. Number 8, Party of One. Number 7, Hurricane Fluttershy. Number 6, Sweet and Elite. Number 5, Ponyville Confidential. Number 4, A Canterlot Wedding. Number 3, A Friend Indeed. Number 2, Lesson 0. And number 1, Magic Duel. And that was my favorite episodes of Season 2, along with my all-time favorite episodes. Next time, I'll tackle something a little controversial. Until then, I'm the voice of reason. I'll see you next time.